This is not a feel-good video. It is a jolt, a sudden wake-up call that your mind has been begging for. Because you are tired of merely surviving and you are ready to start thriving. If you are fed up with the endless grind, if you watch others climb while you feel stuck in the same place, listen closely. We live in a world where talking about money sounds like greed, where dreaming of abundance feels selfish. The painful truth is that money itself is not the problem. The problem is the relationship you have with it. Most of us were raised on phrases like, "Money does not grow on trees. It is better to be poor and honest. The rich are parasites." Without even noticing, those ideas have become your internal laws, your mental programming, the invisible limits that keep you circling the same wheel. Work, collect paycheck, pay bills, owe more. Repeat. This video is not for everyone. I will not tell you what you want to hear. I will not sugarcoat the truth. But if you are willing to listen with humility, to question your deepest beliefs, and to rebuild from the inside out your connection to wealth, stay with me. Here you will uncover what never was taught to you, not at home, not at school, not by your friends. How does a millionaire's mind really work? How do the people who build abundance think, act, and eliminate guilt, scarcity, and victim mentality? And if you stay until the end, you will not only understand it, you will start living it. Now tell me, are you ready to change the way you think so you can change your reality? Write it in the comments right now. I reprogram my mind to attract abundance. Because when you write, you declare, and when you declare, you take the first step. This is not just a video, it is a decision. Will you take it? Or will you keep blaming the world for what you don't have? Look around you. Everything you see, everything you experience, everything you own is a reflection of what is happening inside your head. Yes, what is in your pocket started in your thoughts. And if your bank account is empty, it is not the government's fault, nor the economy's, nor your boss's. It is your internal programming that has set the financial reality you live in. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions generate results. That is the basic formula of financial success. Yet most people live it backwards. They think that if they change their salary, their life will change. That if an opportunity appears, everything will be different. Wrong. Because if you do not change what is inside, any external wealth that arrives will disappear just as quickly. There are people who win the lottery and a few years later are bankrupt. Why? Because money can change, but their mental programming stays the same. Their financial thermostat stays set to scarcity, and no matter how much they earn, their mind drags them back to the level it considers normal. Here is the uncomfortable truth. We all have a financial thermostat. Some people have it set at $2,000 a month, others at $10,000, others at millions. No one can sustain more than what their mind is prepared to handle. Your outer world is merely a mirror of your inner world. That sentence can hurt, but it can also set you free. Because if you created a mental scarcity, you can also deprogram it. You can tear out at the root those beliefs that sabotage you and install new ideas, new patterns, new internal rules that align you with abundance. But to do that, you must make a radical decision. Take 100% responsibility for your current financial reality. No excuses. No blaming your parents, the system, the country, or the past. Does that make you uncomfortable? Good, because growth always begins with discomfort. As long as you keep justifying your situation, you protect it. As long as you say, I was born poor, I have no education, nobody helps me, you are only reinforcing a limited identity, and the mind is fiercely loyal to the story you tell yourself. If you want to change the fruit, you must first change the roots. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money like a magnet while others spend their lives fighting just to stay afloat? It is not luck. It is not talent. It is not even intelligence. The answer lies in something most ignore: their money mold. Each of us has a personal money schema, an internal plan deeply embedded in our subconscious. That plan was formed in childhood, built with every phrase you heard about money, every experience you lived with it, every example you saw in your parents or caregivers. If you grew up hearing statements like, money does not grow on trees, the rich are selfish, you cannot have everything in life, you unknowingly created a limited mental mold, a plan that sabotages any attempt at prosperity, because your subconscious believes money is bad, dirty, or dangerous. And here is the brutal part. Even if you work hard, even if you give your maximum effort, you will never surpass the financial level that your mind considers safe. If that level is low, you will always sabotage yourself to return to it. No matter how much you earn, you will spend, lose, or refuse opportunities without realizing it. That is why it is vital to understand that your outer world is only a reflection of your inner world. You want to change your financial results? First, you must change your mental mold. You must tear out at the root the inherited beliefs, question them, destroy them if necessary, and replace them with powerful, expansive beliefs that push you toward abundance. This is not easy work. It demands you face, break, and rebuild, because many of those beliefs are tied to people you love and deep memories. But if you do not break them, you will stay trapped in the same cycle. Listen carefully. You cannot change your financial reality if you do not first change your mindset. And that is not a motivational slogan. It is a real, tangible, proven principle. If you want to change the fruit, you must first change the roots. If you want to change the visible, you must first transform the invisible. What does that mean? The money you see in your account, the results you have, your debts or your income, are not the cause. They are the external facts. They are the mirror of what is happening inside you. The most common mistake most people make is focusing only on tactics. Earn more, save more, invest better. And yes, all of that matters. But if your mind is still programmed with scarcity, with fear of money, with toxic beliefs, everything you earn will be spent, wasted, or rejected. Because the problem is not money. The problem is you. You with your doubts. You with your guilt for wanting more. You with that old scratched record that repeats, I cannot, I don't deserve it. It's not for me. So how do you reprogram your mind? First, recognize the limiting beliefs that govern you. Pause a moment and think, what were you told about the rich? How did your household talk about money? What emotions surface when someone shows abundance? That is the key. Then you must replace those beliefs with powerful affirmations, spoken with intention, consistency, and emotion. Not empty phrases, but new anchors that redraw your inner mold. Say out loud each day, I create a millionaire mindset. I deserve abundance. I am open to receiving money expected and unexpected. You do not do this to deceive yourself. You do it to reprogram. The mind does not distinguish between reality and what is vividly visualized. If you repeat a new truth enough, your subconscious will start to accept it. But remember, this is not magic. It is discipline. It demands time, intention, and especially action. Because it is not just about thinking differently. You must act like someone with a rich mindset. That means making decisions from faith, not from fear. Investing in your growth. Surrounding yourself with people also on an expansion path. And yes, sometimes it will be uncomfortable. Sometimes you will have to let go of those who prefer to complain rather than change. Sometimes you will have to look at your financial mistakes without excuses. That is where most stop. But you are not here for comfort. You are here because you are ready to awaken. You know you deserve something more. And let me tell you, abundance is not reserved for a select few. It belongs to anyone who dares to reprogram, to free themselves, and to claim their true power. Rewrite your story today, because when your mind aligns with wealth, it becomes your greatest asset. Now let's dive into the first secret chapter, the financial thermostat. Imagine a thermostat in a house. You set it to a temperature, and the system works to keep the environment at that level, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Your mind works the same way with money. Somewhere deep inside, you have set a comfort level for income, for net worth, for daily cash flow. That setting was programmed in childhood, reinforced by every "you can't afford that" moment, every "we're barely getting by" conversation. When you earn above that level, a hidden part of you pulls you back. Overspending, unnecessary purchases, self-sabotage. Because the system is trying to restore the status quo. The first step to break this cycle is to become aware of the number your mind is stuck at. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what is the income level that feels comfortable without making me anxious? Write that number in the comments, just the figure, no explanation. This simple act shines a light on the thermostat setting. Once you see the number, you can begin to reset it. Visualize a dial turning up, slowly, steadily, to the level you truly desire. See the numbers climbing. Feel the warmth of abundance spreading through your body. Hold that image for 30 seconds, then open your eyes. That is the thermostat reset exercise. Do it every morning for a week and notice how your choices begin to shift. You might feel a little uneasy at first. Your mind resists change. But that discomfort is the sign that you are moving out of the old comfort zone. The second secret chapter is the invisible mold of money. Think of a potter shaping clay. The clay takes the shape of the hands that mold it. And once it dries, that shape becomes permanent unless you reheat and reshape it. Your subconscious is that clay, and the hands are the messages you absorbed about money. Every "money is evil" whisper, every "you must work hard just to survive" command, every "the rich are greedy" label has left an imprint. To break the mold, you must first identify the exact phrases that still echo in your mind. Take a moment now and type in the comments the phrase that still haunts you when you think about wealth. When you see it written, you begin to separate yourself from it. Now, smash that phrase with a new mantra. Repeat 3 times with conviction. I am a magnet for wealth. I deserve financial freedom. I use money as a tool for positive impact. Say it out loud. Feel the words vibrating in your chest. Do this every time the old phrase surfaces. Over time, the old mold softens, cracks, and eventually shatters, making room for a new, expansive shape. The third secret chapter is reprogramming the millionaire brain. Science tells us that the brain is plastic. It rewires itself with repeated patterns. Millionaires feed their brains with scarcity-free data every single day. They practice 3 pillars: belief, emotion, and action. Belief without emotion is just an idea. Emotion without action is a fantasy. Action without belief is a desperate gamble. Align all 3 and you create a powerful engine for wealth. Here's a 3-step daily reset you can start right now. First, write down one belief you want to own. For example, I am worthy of abundant wealth. Second, close your eyes and generate the feeling of already having that wealth. Imagine the freedom, the joy, the impact. Let that feeling expand for 20 seconds. Third, take a concrete action that your wealthy self would take. Perhaps reviewing a budget, making a small investment, or reaching out to a mentor. Do these 3 steps each morning, and you will rewire the neural pathways that drive financial success. If this is resonating with you, smash that like button. It tells your brain that you are committing to this shift, and it signals to the algorithm that we should keep delivering this kind of content. And if you feel the fire growing, hit subscribe. Because the journey doesn't end here. We are only scratching the surface of the 7 secret chapters, and the next ones will dive even deeper into the law of empty space, the hidden code that runs your financial decisions, and the ultimate strategy to attract money effortlessly. Stay with me, and we will unlock the full blueprint together. When you finally let the grip loosen, something remarkable happens. The empty space you create is not a void of lack. It is a magnetic field that pulls opportunity toward you like iron to a magnet. Imagine a cup that is half full of water. If you keep shaking it, the water splashes out, never settling. If you set it down, the water finds its level, calm and ready to be poured. Your mind works the same way. When you cling to every dollar, every fear, every story of scarcity, you keep the cup in perpetual motion. The moment you decide to release, you give the universe a clear signal. I am ready to receive what is already on its way. That is the law of empty space, the principle that the most powerful way to attract wealth is to stop trying to hold on to it. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps you can practice right now. First, write down the belief that feels the heaviest on your chest. That one sentence you repeat to yourself when you hear the word investment or risk. It could be something like, I'm not meant to be rich, or if I get more money, I'll lose myself. Second, take a piece of paper and write that sentence in bold. Then fold it 3 times and set it on fire. Or if you're in a shared space, shred it with scissors. This physical act is a symbolic surrender, a way of telling your subconscious that the old script no longer has power. Third, replace the burnt paper with a new affirmation, a line that embodies the empty space you are creating. I welcome abundance. It flows to me effortlessly. Speak it aloud. Feel the vibration in your throat. Let it echo in the room. Do this whenever a limiting thought surfaces, and you will notice the resistance melting away, making room for new possibilities. Now, you might be wondering why this works. The answer lies deep within the brain's wiring, in the part called the limbic system, which governs emotions and instinctual responses. Tells every other part of your body, tells every other part of your body, including the decision-making centers, that you are not safe to expand. By deliberately creating empty space, you calm the limbic system, lower cortisol, and allow the prefrontal cortex to think clearly, to see patterns, to spot opportunities that were hidden behind the noise. In other words, the law of empty space is a neurological shortcut to a state of flow, and flow is the fertile ground where wealth sprouts. If you're feeling that spark of curiosity, drop a comment below with the word release if you're ready to try this ritual today. I'll be reading them and sharing a few of the most powerful stories in the next video. And remember, the more you engage, the stronger the signal you send to your own brain, reinforcing the new pathways you're building. Moving on, let's dive into the hidden code that runs every financial decision you make, often without you even realizing it. This code is a collection of micro-beliefs, tiny mental shortcuts that your brain uses to speed up choices. Think of it like the operating system of a computer. You never see the code, but it determines how the machine behaves. In the realm of money, these micro-beliefs dictate whether you see a discount as a win, whether you feel guilty buying a quality item, or whether you automatically assume that paying off debt is the only route to security. One of the most pervasive pieces of this hidden code is what I call the scarcity filter. It's a mental lens that automatically categorizes any financial scenario as either a loss or a threat, unless it is explicitly labeled as a gain. For example, when you receive a raise, the scarcity filter instantly asks, "Will this be enough to cover the next month's bills?" instead of celebrating the increase. When you see an investment opportunity, the same filter whispers, "What could go wrong?" and you shy away. This filter is not a conscious decision. It's a programmed reflex that originated from years of hearing, "Money is tight," "You never have enough," or "The market is risky." The result is a constant state of vigilance that keeps you stuck in survival mode. The good news is that you can rewrite this code line by line by feeding your mind with counterexamples. Start by collecting 3 real-life instances where a financial decision that seemed risky turned out to be rewarding. It could be a friend who bought a stock and saw it grow, a small business owner who invested in a new piece of equipment and doubled revenue, or even your own experience of buying a quality tool that saved you time and money later. Write each story down and read them aloud each morning. By doing this, you are creating a new database in your subconscious that the scarcity filter can reference, turning it from a one-sided alarm into a balanced advisor. Next, practice what I call the decision pause. Whenever you feel a sudden urge to react, whether it's to splurge on a gadget, to decline an investment, or to cancel a subscription, pause for exactly 10 seconds. In those 10 seconds, ask yourself 3 questions. Is this decision driven by fear or by curiosity? What is the best possible outcome if I move forward? And what is the worst possible outcome, and can I survive it? By explicitly naming the fear, you take it out of the subconscious and bring it into the light where it can be examined. This practice not only weakens the automatic scarcity filter, but also strengthens your confidence in making deliberate choices. Now that we have uncovered the hidden code, let's move to the final secret. The ultimate strategy to attract money effortlessly. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, nor is it a mystical chant you whisper at midnight. It is a concrete, repeatable system that aligns your internal state with the external flow of wealth. It combines three pillars: clarity, contribution, and consistency, into a daily rhythm that keeps you in resonance with abundance. Clarity begins with defining exactly what wealth looks like for you, beyond vague terms like more money. Picture a specific scenario. You are sitting at a desk, reviewing a portfolio that generates a steady stream of passive income. You have the freedom to travel. You are able to fund a charitable project you care about. And you can support your loved ones without stress. Write this vision in vivid detail, using all five senses. Hear the rustle of papers. Feel the comfort of a leather chair. See the sunrise over a coastal town you visit regularly. The more concrete the picture, the more your brain treats it as a present reality, not a distant dream. Contribution is the magnet that pulls the universe toward you. When you give, you signal that you are already part of the flow of wealth, that you have enough to share, and that you trust the system to replenish what you dispense. This doesn't have to be a large donation. It can be as simple as offering a skill to a friend, sharing a useful resource in a community forum, or spending a modest amount on a cause you believe in. The key is to make giving a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, a habit that reinforces the belief that wealth is abundant and circulates. Consistency ties the two together by turning intention into habit. Every morning, after you have visualized your wealth scenario, spend 5 minutes writing down one small action you will take that day to move toward that vision. It could be sending an email to a potential mentor, allocating a tiny portion of your income to an investment account, or researching a new skill that will increase your earning power. Then, at night, review what you accomplished, celebrate the win, however small, and note any obstacles. This loop of intention, action, and reflection creates a feedback mechanism that trains your brain to associate money with progress, not panic. To embed this strategy into your life, I want you to try a 20-day challenge. For the next 20 days, follow this 3-step routine without fail. First, visualize your detailed wealth scene for 1 minute. Second, perform a genuine act of contribution, no matter how small. Third, execute your chosen action toward your financial goal. Record each day in a journal, marking the date, the visualization details, the contribution you made, and the action you took. At the end of the 20 days, look back and notice the shift in your confidence, the reduction in resistance, and the subtle ways opportunities began to surface. If you feel this resonates, type "challenge" in the comments so I can see how many of you are committing to this experiment. I'll be following along and sharing insights from the community in a follow-up video. Remember, the act of publicly declaring your intention strengthens it, because it creates accountability both to yourself and to the collective energy of the viewers. We have now walked through the 4th, 5th, and 6th chapters, each unlocking a layer of the mental architecture that governs your relationship with money. The final chapter ties everything together, providing the master key that turns knowledge into lived reality. It is called the Wealth Integration Protocol, and it is the synthesis of thermostat reset, mold breaking, brain reprogramming, empty space release, hidden code rewrite, and the effortless attraction system. Think of it as a symphony where each instrument has been tuned. Now you conduct the piece. The protocol consists of 4 phases that you practice weekly, allowing the changes to settle and compound. Phase 1. Reset Review takes place every Sunday. During this time, you revisit your financial thermostat settings, ask yourself what income level feels comfortable, and then consciously dial it up by at least a modest increment, visualizing the new number as a stable baseline rather than a fleeting target. Write this new baseline in your journal and note any emotional resistance that surfaces. Acknowledge it, then let it go, reminding yourself that the thermostat is a tool, not a prison. Phase 2. Mold Inspection is a midweek check-in, preferably on Wednesday. Here you scan your thoughts for any lingering old phrases that have resurfaced. You might catch yourself saying, "I can't afford that," when you see a reasonable price, or "I don't deserve a raise." When you spot a phrase, you immediately apply the mold-breaking mantra we practiced earlier, repeating the new affirmation 3 times with conviction. This reinforcement prevents the old script from re-establishing its grip. Phase 3, Reprogramming Pulse, happens on Friday evenings. This is the moment you engage the 3-step daily reset we introduced, but you add a layer of gratitude. After visualizing your belief, feeling the wealth emotion, and taking the concrete action, you spend 30 seconds listing 3 things you are grateful for that day, specifically tied to money or resources. Gratitude amplifies the neural pathways associated with positive reward, making the reprogramming more effective and sustainable. Phase 4. Integration Flow is a weekend ritual that blends the law of empty space with contribution. Choose a quiet spot, perhaps a park or a comfortable corner of your home, and spend 10 minutes in silent reflection. In this space, imagine the universe as a vast ocean of possibilities, and you as a vessel that can both receive and give. Visualize money flowing into you like water. Then see yourself pouring that water out to nourish plants, to fill a well for others, to support a cause. This mental dance of receiving and giving cements the belief that wealth is a circulating current, not a finite stash. End the session by writing down one insight or feeling that arose, reinforcing the experience in your conscious mind. By cycling through these 4 phases each week, you create a rhythm that aligns every part of your psyche with abundance. The brain loves patterns. The more consistently you perform these rituals, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the easier it feels to stay in the wealth state. Over time, you'll notice that decisions that once triggered anxiety now feel natural, that opportunities you previously ignored become obvious, and that the feeling of scarcity gradually dissolves into a background hum of confidence. Before we close, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey you've embarked upon. From recognizing that your mind was the thermostat keeping you in the cold, to melting the mold of inherited money myths, to rewiring the millionaire brain, to creating empty space that invites abundance, to decoding the hidden scripts that sabotage you, and finally to mastering a comprehensive integration protocol, you have walked through a complete transformation blueprint. This is not a fleeting inspiration. It is a practical, repeatable system that you can apply day after day, year after year. If any part of this resonated deeply, I encourage you to pause right now. Open your journal and write the single sentence that captures the most powerful insight you've gained. Then, share that sentence in the comments below. By vocalizing it, you lock it into your mind and into the collective energy of the community, amplifying its effect. Remember, the true measure of this work is not how many times you watch the video, but how many times you act on the guidance. If you find yourself feeling the urge to replay this segment, that is a sign that your subconscious is still processing. Honor that by revisiting the specific chapter that sparked the feeling and apply the tool associated with it. Finally, if you've stayed with me this far, you've already demonstrated the commitment that separates the curious from the transformed. Hit the like button as a signal to your brain that you value this shift, and consider subscribing so you won't miss the deeper dive into the final integration practices I'll be releasing in the coming weeks. Each new video builds on the foundation we've laid today, guiding you step by step toward a life where money flows as naturally as breath. Take a deep breath now. Feel the air fill your lungs and let it remind you that abundance is as natural as breathing. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the will. All that remains is the consistent, daily choice to walk this path. The universe is waiting, the doors are open, and the wealth you seek is already moving toward you. Go forth, reprogram, release, and receive. The future you've imagined is not a distant dream. It is the next chapter you will write with every intentional thought and action you take. Now, as you stand at the edge of this transformation, feel the weight of every belief you have carried for years, the invisible armor that has kept you safe yet also confined. Imagine that armor as a heavy coat you have worn since childhood, stitched together with every "money is bad" whisper, every "you'll never be rich" sigh, every "don't aim too high" warning. It has protected you from disappointment, but it also blocks the breath of abundance that wants to fill your lungs. The moment you decide to shed that coat, you will notice a sudden lightness, a sense of freedom that awakens the part of you that knows you are worthy of wealth, that knows you are designed to create, to attract, to thrive. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, picture the coat falling away, piece by piece, until it is nothing more than a memory. Feel the cool air of possibility rushing in, filling every cell, every nerve, every thought. This is not a metaphor that ends here. It is a living, daily practice. Each morning, before you open your eyes to the noise of the world, sit upright, close your eyes, and repeat 3 simple affirmations. First, declare that you are a magnet for prosperity, that money flows to you as easily as water to a river. Second, affirm that you deserve every dollar you earn, that wealth is a reflection of your value, not a reward for selfishness. Third, commit to taking one bold step today that aligns with your financial vision, no matter how small. Speak these words with conviction, feel the vibration in your chest, and let that vibration set the tone for the day. Now, let us dive deeper into the 7 secret chapters that have been the backbone of this journey, and explore the practical tools you can embed into your routine. Remember, knowledge without action is just another story you tell yourself. Action without understanding is a frantic chase that leaves you exhausted. The synthesis of both creates the engine of lasting wealth. Chapter 1. The Financial Thermostat taught you that your internal setting determines the ceiling of your earnings. To truly raise that thermostat, you must engage in what I call the dial-up visualization. Close your eyes and picture a thermostat dial in front of you, its needle currently hovering at the level you have always known. See your hand reaching out, turning the knob clockwise, feeling the resistance melt away as you pass each incremental mark until the needle rests at the level you desire. Whether it be 5,000, 10,000, or beyond. Hold that image for at least 30 seconds. Then open your eyes and write down the exact number you saw. This number becomes your new baseline, a target your subconscious will now accept as normal. Return to this visualization nightly and notice how opportunities begin to align with that higher setting. Chapter 2 revealed the invisible mold that shapes our money story. The mold is not static. It can be softened with heat, reshaped with intention, and shattered with decisive action. The tool we introduced, the mold-breaking mantra, works best when spoken aloud, preferably in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes and repeat 3 powerful statements. I release the belief that money is scarce. I embrace the truth that abundance is infinite. I claim my right to prosper without guilt. As you speak, feel the tension in your jaw loosen. Feel the old narratives dissolve like sugar in hot tea. Do this 3 times each morning and 3 times each evening. Over days, you will notice the old voice growing quieter, replaced by a confident inner narrator that cheers on your financial moves. Chapter 3 focused on reprogramming the millionaire brain through the pillars of belief, emotion, and action. The daily reset we outlined is a 3-step ritual. First, write down a belief that you are worthy of wealth. Second, generate a vivid emotional experience of already having that wealth. Imagine the feelings of checking a bank statement that shows numbers you once thought impossible. Feel the excitement, the gratitude, the calm that follows. Third, take a concrete action that reflects that belief, such as reaching out to a potential client, investing a small amount, or learning a new skill that increases your earning power. The power of this ritual lies in its consistency. When you repeat it for at least 21 days, the neural pathways strengthen, and the brain begins to treat wealth as a default state rather than an exception. Chapter 4 introduced the law of empty space, the paradoxical truth that letting go creates room for more. The release ritual we suggested is simple yet profound. Take a piece of paper, write down the limiting belief that holds you captive. Perhaps, I will never be rich because I was born poor. Or, money comes at the cost of my integrity. Then, safely burn the paper, or shred it if fire is not an option, watching the ash drift away. As the paper turns to smoke, repeat silently, I release what no longer serves me. I welcome the flow of abundance. This physical act signals to your subconscious that the old program has been terminated, and the mind is now free to accept new possibilities. Perform this release whenever a strong limiting thought resurfaces, and you will notice a gradual easing of resistance. Chapter 5 delved into the hidden feedback loops that keep us stuck in scarcity. One of the most potent tools here is the feedback reroute. Whenever you notice a negative self-talk pattern, such as, I can't afford that, or I'm not good enough to earn more, immediately interrupt it with a counter-statement that reframes the situation. For example, transform I can't afford that into I am creating the resources to afford that. This simple switch rewires the brain's automatic response, turning a dead-end thought into a launch pad for action. Practice this reroute at least 10 times a day, and you will begin to notice the frequency of scarcity thoughts diminishing, replaced by an expanding sense of possibility. Chapter 6 explored the power of strategic generosity. Many fear that giving away money will diminish their wealth. Yet the opposite is true. When you give with genuine intention, you program the universe to return to you in multiplied form. The practice we recommend is the 1% give back. Choose an amount that represents roughly 1% of your monthly income, whether it is a literal percentage or a symbolic amount that feels generous to you, and allocate it to a cause that resonates with your values. Perform this act without expectation of return, simply as an expression of abundance. Over time, you will notice that opportunities for income, collaborations, and unexpected gifts appear more frequently as the energy you have released returns amplified. Chapter 7. The final piece of the puzzle is the integration protocol that stitches all previous lessons into a cohesive daily habit. This protocol consists of 3 phases: morning alignment, midday reinforcement, and evening reflection. In the morning, after your 3-step reset, spend 5 minutes visualizing your ideal financial day, seeing yourself confidently navigating meetings, making decisive investments, and feeling the satisfaction of progress. Midday. Pause for a brief check-in. Ask yourself, am I honoring my thermostat, my beliefs, my actions? If any discrepancy appears, apply the feedback rewrote instantly. In the evening, journal for 10 minutes, recording the successes, the challenges, and the emotions you experienced. End the entry with a gratitude statement for at least 3 financial blessings that occurred that day, no matter how small. This tri-phase routine creates a loop of continuous reinforcement, ensuring that the new wealth mindset becomes ingrained in every layer of your being. Now, let us talk about the subtle but powerful role of environment in shaping your financial reality. Your surroundings, people, media, physical space, act as mirrors that either amplify or dampen your new programming. Curate your environment deliberately. Begin by surrounding yourself with content that celebrates wealth without guilt. Replace news feeds that focus on scarcity with podcasts, books, and videos that highlight success stories, innovative business models, and the science of money psychology. Invite supportive individuals into your circle, those who celebrate your wins, challenge your doubts, and model the abundance mindset you aspire to. If certain relationships consistently trigger old limiting beliefs, consider setting clear boundaries or gradually reducing exposure. Remember, you cannot change the world overnight, but you can change the lenses through which you perceive it. And those lenses will filter the reality you create. Physical space also matters. Design a dedicated area in your home where you conduct your financial rituals. It could be a small desk with a clean surface, a notebook, a candle, perhaps a symbolic object, like a coin or a crystal, that represents prosperity. Keep this space free of clutter, as clutter reflects mental disorganization. When you step into this area, your brain receives a cue that it is time to engage with wealth consciousness. Over weeks, this cue will become a powerful trigger, automatically aligning your thoughts with abundance whenever you enter the space. Another often overlooked factor is the language you use when speaking about money. Words carry vibration. They shape perception. Replace phrases like, "I can't afford that" with, "I am choosing to allocate my resources differently." Swap "I'm broke" for, I am in a temporary phase of financial growth. Notice how these subtle shifts change the emotional charge of your statements, opening doors for new possibilities. Make a conscious effort to audit your vocabulary daily and replace any limiting term with an empowering alternative. Now, let us address the inevitable moments of doubt that will arise on this path. Even the most disciplined practitioners encounter resistance, especially when old habits surface. When you feel a wave of fear, anxiety, or self-sabotage, do not fight it with force. Instead, greet it with curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Often, the fear is a signal that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is precisely where growth occurs. A useful technique is the pause and observe method. When a negative thought arises, pause, take 3 deep breaths, and observe the thought without judgment, as if you were a scientist watching an experiment. Then, gently redirect your focus to a positive affirmation or a visual of your desired financial outcome. This practice trains your mind to acknowledge discomfort without letting it dictate your actions. In addition, consider incorporating physical movement into your wealth practice. The body and mind are intertwined. A surge of energy in the muscles can stimulate mental clarity. Simple actions like a brisk walk while rehearsing your affirmations, or a short set of stretches before your evening reflection, can amplify the neurochemical signals associated with confidence and optimism. Some high-performing entrepreneurs swear by a brief power pose session, standing tall, shoulders back, chest open, for a minute before a major negotiation or financial decision. The physiological shift reinforces the mental state of abundance, making you more likely to act from a place of certainty. Let us also explore the concept of financial anchoring, a technique borrowed from elite athletes. Choose a physical anchor, a specific hand gesture, a particular sound, or a scent that you associate with the feeling of wealth. For instance, you might press your thumb and forefinger together while inhaling the scent of fresh pine, and simultaneously imagine the sensation of a bank account swelling. Practice this anchor repeatedly during your visualization sessions. Over time, when you activate the anchor in real-world situations, such as before a sales pitch or a budgeting meeting, your brain will instantly retrieve the associated wealth state, granting you confidence and composure. Now, as we approach the culmination of this journey, I want you to envision the ripple effect of your personal transformation. When you reprogram your mind for abundance, you not only change your own financial trajectory, but also influence the collective consciousness of those around you. Your actions become a beacon, showing others that wealth is not an exclusive club reserved for a select few, but a natural expression of human potential. By sharing your story, by mentoring someone who is still stuck, by donating to causes that uplift, you amplify the wave of prosperity, creating a feedback loop that benefits everyone. Before we close, take a moment to write down 3 concrete commitments you will honor over the next 7 days. These commitments should be specific, actionable, and aligned with the tools we have discussed. Perhaps you will schedule a meeting with a potential client, set up an automatic transfer to a savings account, or complete a course on investment fundamentals. Whatever they are, write them down, sign them mentally, and place them somewhere visible: a fridge, a mirror, a phone reminder. This act of externalizing your intent reinforces accountability, turning intention into reality. Now, I invite you to share those 3 commitments in the comments below. By voicing them, you create a social contract with yourself and with this community, increasing the likelihood that you will follow through. If you feel inspired, tag a friend who could benefit from this blueprint and challenge them to make their own commitments. Together, we can build a network of individuals who are actively reshaping their financial destinies. As you move forward, remember that the journey is not a straight line. There will be peaks and valleys, moments of exhilaration and periods of introspection. Embrace each phase, for each offers a lesson that refines your mastery of wealth. When you encounter setbacks, revisit the chapters, rerun the visualizations, and use the feedback reroute to correct course. The system we have built is resilient. It is designed to adapt, to evolve, and to grow stronger with each iteration. Finally, if this message resonated with you, if the tools you have just absorbed feel like a key turning in a lock you have long carried, consider supporting this channel by hitting the like button. Not because I need validation, but because that simple action signals to your brain that you value this shift, reinforcing the neural pathways we have been forging together. If you feel called to stay connected, subscribe and enable notifications so you won't miss the deeper dives we will release in the coming weeks. Each one expanding on the integration practices, each one offering new strategies to accelerate your wealth creation. Your presence here is already a testament to your commitment. Let us keep that momentum alive. Take one more deep breath now. Feel the air fill your lungs, and let it remind you that abundance is as natural as breathing. The tools are in your hands, the knowledge resides in your mind, and the will lives in your heart. All that remains is the consistent, daily choice to walk this path. The universe is waiting, the doors are open, and the wealth you seek is already moving toward you. Go forth, reprogram, release, and receive. The future you have imagined is not a distant dream. It is the next chapter you will write with every intentional thought and action you take. Now, with that breath still steady, picture the moment you first felt the weight of those old stories. Those whispers that told you you weren't worthy of more, that wealth was a foreign land you could never reach. See them dissolve like mist under the sunrise, because the very act of noticing them is the first crack in the wall that has kept you confined. You have already taken the step of opening your eyes. The next step is to keep them open, day after day, as you walk the road you have just begun to map. Imagine waking tomorrow and before your coffee, you spend a minute affirming the new script you have chosen. Feel the certainty settle in your chest as you say, I am a magnet for abundance, and every decision I make aligns with prosperity. Let that feeling anchor you, and let it ripple outward into every transaction, every conversation, every thought about money. The more you repeat this, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the more naturally the world will begin to respond to the frequency you are now broadcasting. If at any point you feel a tug of doubt, remember the thermostat analogy. You have the power to turn that dial higher, to set a new baseline that refuses to settle for scarcity. When you notice a slip, perhaps an impulse purchase, a self-sabotaging comment, pause, breathe, and reset. The reset is simple. Acknowledge the moment, state the intention to stay aligned, and move forward with the confidence that you are rewriting the code in real time. Now I want you to take a moment and type in the comments the exact belief you are ready to release today. It could be a phrase you heard as a child, a line from a movie, or a rule you've been following for years. By writing it down, you are already breaking its hold on you. I will read each of the first few entries and share a quick insight on how to transform that particular block into a launch pad for wealth. Share this message with anyone you know who is still stuck in the old narrative. Tag a friend. Challenge them to name their limiting belief and invite them to join this movement of conscious reprogramming. When we create a network of minds committed to freeing themselves, the collective energy accelerates and the doors of opportunity swing wider for everyone involved. Before we part, remember that every like you give is not just a metric. It is a physical signal to your brain that you value this shift, reinforcing the very pathways we have been building together. If this resonated with you, tap the like button now. And consider subscribing so you don't miss the deeper dives that will follow. Each new video will add another layer to your toolkit, another practical exercise, another story of transformation that you can model. Finally, close your eyes once more, inhale deeply, and as you exhale, visualize the life you desire. Filled with financial freedom, purposeful work, and the joy of giving back. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures. Hold that vision for a heartbeat, then open your eyes and step into the day with the certainty that you are already the author of that reality. The journey ahead will have its challenges, but you now possess the map, the compass, and the fire within. Walk it boldly, reprogram relentlessly, release without regret, and receive the abundance that is already on its way. The future you have imagined is not a distant dream. It is the next chapter you will write with every intentional thought and action you take.